illusion. Welcome to your final resting place. I see your mind's full of delusion. When you look in the mirror, do you see your own face? Welcome to California, a place for hopes, a place for dreams, a place for scars, a place for screams.
Welcome to another episode of Modern Art Blitz, a full hour of blitzing the best, brightest, and most brilliant art personalities, ideas, and explanations you will ever hear from the best of the Southern California art scene. Although we've gone outside of Southern California a couple times, haven't we?
Yeah, a few times.
A few times. This is my lovely intern, Eliza. She will be sketching. She is in the sketcher's seat. In the sketcher's seat, those who appear here are recorded for posterity. Although we do archive the show on youtube.com. Dronebox.com's website has every episode. And modernartblitz.com is a great place to see. This is our 55th episode. Jeez. Oy, oy, oy. Later in the show, Lauren Phillip and Sandra Vista. Two great artists. But now, my first guest. If I start giving you all the good things about her, it'll take up the whole 12 to 15 minutes of the interview.
Go for
So
it.
let me just say, welcome a great artist, Jill Sykes.
Hi.
How you doing, Jill?
Hi, Matt.
Welcome to Modern Art Blitz.
Thank you. Are you blitzing me?
You're about to get blitzed. So you are a Southern California native, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the San Fernando Valley.
Do you consider yourself a Valley girl?
No.
That song came out long after you had left
I
the Valley,
was
right?
ancient by the time that song
You
came
were,
out. And we
if you
just
were ancient
went
by then what are you now? Did you make a full circle?
multi-ancient.
What? Now this is probably one of the ultimate Southern California logos, I guess you might say. Is that a palm tree or a Joshua tree?
That's a poinsettia.
Oh.
No. It's a poinsettias are red. That's a
Hibiscus?
no. Now that you've asked me, I can't think of it.
Well, so where now you obviously draw from nature.
Yes.
And are these drawn or painted? How is this made? Tell me about your process.
The process is I'll get some idea, like I want to paint this flower, and the name will come to me 2 seconds after I'm off this chair.
Yeah.
And so, I start looking and I start seeing things, and I might take pictures with my iPhone, I might sketch it. Anyway, I gather a bunch of images, and from those images I will make a drawing. So before I get to painting it, I've really drawn out exactly what I want. And I'm really focused on the negative shape in between the little shapes and the leaves and the flowers and whatever. So that's a finished drawing before it hits the canvas.
What and so you finished a drawing, so you have like many studies before
Yeah.
you have a painting?
Yeah.
So do you frame those? Try to move product that way too? Is
No,
it two
but
tiers?
you're not the first person to suggest that was a
Yeah?
good idea. To like actually frame these little
Well, I
tracing
just
papers.
suggested it. I never claimed it was a good idea. If you spend a year doing it and don't
Hey.
make any sales, don't kill me on this one.
Well,
Okay,
but
so
I do use a computer a lot because by the time I get to the drawing, I'll scan the drawing, and I've decided that canvas is going to be X by Y, whatever it is, and I will print out that drawing to fit, and then I get very old school, and I put charcoal on the back and I transfer it that way.
So are we looking at is it an oil painting?
That's an
Acrylic
oil painting.
Oil.
That's an oil
You
painting.
prefer oil?
Yes, I do. For
What-
this work, I do.
For
Absolutely.
that work. And this is probably, I mean, I've known you a long time, but this is what you're known for. Is these what I call the glowing silhouettes?
Thank you.
Is that?
Thank you. Well, that wasn't what I was doing when we first met at all.
No?
No, I was doing the big abstract stained acrylic pieces. I'd paint them on the floor.
I think this is it continues to be your breakthrough work though.
Yeah, thank you.
So you beyond the Southern California landscape though, do you ever take flowers and things that just aren't really available to us visually? Or do you stick to native flora and fauna?
I stick to something that looks like an interesting shape.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
So you're really going
So I'm not like honed in on, is this in my own backyard? I don't really care about that. I'm more interested in, is this an interesting shape, and can I take these and put them together and make an image that works?
Yep. How about that? Your
And there-
microphone
and
your
there's my
microphone might have
breast.
been covered. Yeah, we don't want to
couldn't hear me?
muffle you. We don't want to If I wanted to muffle the artist, I would just have a
horrified.
show
I
of
can't
me
think of the
muffling
name
the
of
artist.
that flower because I've drawn it a million times.
So let's see if let's play name that flower. You're 0 for 1.
Somebody.
Let's see the
Help me here.
Let's see the next one. We do have more images.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
how big is this piece in reality?
That one is probably like, I think it's like 60 square, maybe
5 foot square?
60, 62 inches square.
Wow, a big
It's a big one,
golden
and
grain.
that's literally a shadow that I saw on a wall.
Oh, wow.
I took a ton of pictures, and then I, sort of blasted it out so it's all broken up. I did several paintings based on that palm tree, different drawings, but based on that same shadowy thing. And that one is gold, is a metallic gold oil paint. So at the moment, it's hanging in my studio next to the window, and the light hits it. It's quite nice.
And that's in your studio then?
That's
You
in my
didn't-
studio. Yeah, the other one sold a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That nameless flower.
So you have nature, the shadows of nature. I mean, there's a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
Are you going? Does the poetry find you, or do you find the poetry?
That's a good question. I think it's all part and parcel of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm looking for in the first place, is
You
the
want-
poetry.
You
and
want
the
to find the
shape.
poetry, and then
Yeah, but I don't know that I would have ever articulated it quite like that.
Okay.
But
do
yeah.
you reconstitute it for the viewer, make it permanent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the shadow, right? The sun moves.
Yeah.
Or pardon me. We know for a fact the sun does not move. We know that the earth spins and the shadow changes thusly. So
That's right.
you've
So
caught
it's
this
a frozen shadow.
that ineffable moment. You
Yeah.
know, it'll
Yeah,
never.
I'm really intrigued with the shadows. I like how the spaces get blasted out and broken up, so the lines don't always connect. There's like a space in between, which gives me more negative space to kind of. So they become these sort of abstracty blobs, and you put the blobs together, and you've got that.
Now
That looks like a real thing.
you're an urban girl.
Pretty
Wouldn't
urban,
you say?
quasi-urban.
So how did you get? How does one retain this desire for nature in the urban?
Probably because
scape?
I'm an urban girl. Although
Oh.
I live in a canyon, but I'm downtown LA every day, and it is nourishing. It relaxes me. It's like there's so much stress, and I can look at that and I can kind of go, okay.
Oh, okay. So
I'm probably going to survive this after.
So the
all.
intensity of the urban experience has driven you to this.
Well, not
seek
just the
out
urban
nature?
experience, the intensity of being alive
Well, I mean,
can be pretty intense.
if there were no urban experience when we were out in nature, it might be a little more tense, right?
Well, it'd be a bear.
You know?
That would be the intensity.
bear.
But,
Saber-toothed tigers,
You know,
maybe?
I've often said that there's this great Matisse quote that I'm paraphrasing, and if I'd been smart enough, I would have written it down where and when he said it. But basically, he said he's painting a place where he wants to be.
Ah.
And once I kind of hit on that, I went, that's what I'm doing. You know, this sort of need to be someplace calm and safe and relaxing, because the rest of my life is, busy, busy, busy.
Everybody's life is crazy these days.
Exactly.
Technology
exactly.
didn't save us; it just made us busier.
It made us busier.
Did it
yeah.
make it- did
so
it
when
make-
people say, "Gee, I'm just too busy for that," I just kind of go,
Yeah.
get on, get in line.
My father's best saying: "You never have time; you make time."
That's very good.
There you go.
Good on Dad.
So-
Yeah.
So let's continue because
Okay.
obviously I'm a fan, and I really want people to see your art. And ooh, what's this?
Oh, now this is definitely shadow stuff, and this is a story I tell about Art Walk. People ask me about the brewery Art Walk all the time.
You have a studio at the brewery
I have a
in
studio
Lincoln
at the
Heights,
brewery,
downtown LA.
and that's where you and I met
We
about
met at the brewery.
20 years ago.
Ancient history.
So I open up for Art Walk every time, twice a year, and my first Art Walk was in 1996. Anyway, so this couple comes in several years ago, and they bought this tiny little 4-panel piece. And after Art Walk and everything, I went out to their house and hung it up, had a glass of wine. It was all very nice. They get back in touch with me later, and the guy was an architect, and he told me he was thinking of tearing down the house and rebuilding it and making it like a cornerstone piece of work for his firm. It's his firm. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have remodeled, but okay, what do I know? So then he said, "Gee, I have this idea. Do you want to do it?" And of course I go, "Yes, of course, I want to do it."
Great.
So the project was to come up with some sort of design that would go around the entire facade of this brand new house.
Okay, we're in it now.
And
Okay,
that's
cool.
the front wall that faces the street. And there's more over on that side, on the other side of the wall, and then that's the garage. It wraps around, and then it wraps around again. That's
And
two
is this a
stories.
painted mural?
It is sandblasted into a material called ecosem, or maybe it's ecochem because it's Italian.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is, I've never heard of this material.
It's some sort of reconstituted, recycled cement something. So everything in this house is LEED certified green. They won a ton of awards on this house.
Oh, what year was this? It's 2017
I signed
now,
that house, actually. I think we finally finished it in 2009.
2009,
Yeah,
okay.
but it was about a 3-year project
Oh,
for me,
wow.
off and on.
Wow.
And
again, this is just, you had an open studio tour, and
Yep.
so, and then, you know, there's always the artists who go, well, I did it once and I didn't end up on the cover of Art Forum. Why should I do it again?
You
right?
need a little more tenacity than that.
Yeah, you
to,
just gotta-
to do this. So, so they specifically wanted sycamore branch shadows because they've got 3 big sycamore trees on the property. So what we've got is shadows and shadows and shadows on the wall of the house. The real shadows from the trees, the shadows that I've done, shadows within.
You had to consider that there's going to be shadows coming from
Exactly,
nature that
exactly.
you could never anticipate,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
this project really bumped up my work in a lot of ways because
you had to get your chops up then, right?
and it just made me see things differently. Because again, we're really focused on the shadows and blasted out shadows, and I had to learn all this whole new program on the computer because, anyway, it was a really long process.
Oh, yeah.
And you can drive by that house. I have people walk into my studio now and go, oh, I jogged by that house with my dog just yesterday.
Great advertising in a
Cool.
way, but
Right, so
great
it's
art.
quite beautiful.
Fundamentally, great art is the first priority.
Thank you.
Yes.
You. So he took a chance on me, and the house is great, and I'm very pleased.
Oh, here is this the same place? No.
This is the project I did at the Museum of Art and History in Lancaster a couple of years ago. And
Okay, at MOA.
this was the time he rented the bus, so that was really great.
Oh,
So
we all went out there. I remember this. Yeah, we rented
Yeah.
a bus. We all went out there. It was a big party,
it was
and
awesome.
yeah.
So this was a project, Andy Campagnoni offered me this space, which is,
She's been a guest here on
She's
Modern Art Blitz.
wonderful.
She was episode 49 for those of you keeping score at
that
home.
was 6 episodes ago.
6? What's up? Faster math than me.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's not my forte, but I got that. Anyway, this was this jewel box, and it's cantilevered from the 2nd floor of the museum over the sidewalk. And it's like 4 or 5 windows, and then that window, and then another 4 or 5, and then 2 more, and they're like 10 feet tall. And this was technically a similar process to what I did on Sycamore House, where I had to make these vector files and send the files off and have them enlarged to whatever size. And it's vinyl, and they're stuck on the vinyl. It was gorgeous. It was temporary, but it was so pretty there
And
for a couple
were
months.
those trees native to Lancaster, or did you get to
Those
pick the trees you
are-
want, or?
I just had this, she said, give me an idea. And so my idea was the yucca trees. As I was driving back and forth from Lancaster to LA,
Okay.
they were all in bloom. These huge, white, beautiful things were all over the hillsides. And so I got out the car one day, click, 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 I'm making all these pictures, and I made all these drawings. And so
Great.
that's where they came from. So,
Wow, wow,
and
wow.
somebody sent me this great photograph with the shadows.
Oh,
which
it's great.
was just
It's great. It actually,
perfect.
yeah, I've seen this different artists' work in this section of that museum
Yeah,
a
it's
few
cool.
times. And this is great because every time you see it, it's different as the shadows change.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
the light would change the color of the white vinyl, and you see it from below, and at nighttime it looked very almost Christmassy. Of course, it was December as well.
Oh, that
So-
always helps.
So anyway, it
Christmas
was a,
in June just it doesn't work.
Yeah,
as,
yeah, so
it does
Christmas
not
in
work as
December
well.
somehow
Some
does work.
reindeer on the 4th of July. Just
yeah, that
okay.
doesn't really work. Anyway, so this was a wonderful project.
Wow. So do we have? I think we have.
Oh, I gave
another.
you way too many projects.
Oh wow! Wow!
This is a series I started, not necessarily a series, but I started doing small panels with gold leaf.
Oh.
So the colors are all acrylic. These are acrylic, and I'll do the gold leaf. This one is, it's actually 4 different little panels, and they hang together like that.
Wow. Gold. Now help me out here. I've been in the art world a long time, but gold leaf, it's not really real gold. It's not
Some
like
people use real gold.
$1,800 an ounce.
I've
I
never
mean-
seen real gold. I just get the stuff and I put it on, and it's, maybe I'm supposed to use
Hey,
real
jewelry's
gold.
all silver. Okay, never mind.
That's jewelry.
So it's from a gold leaf from a paper.
It's like this thin paper that's been hammered and hammered and hammered. So it's very, very, very flexible, delicate foil. And they give you this glue, and you glue the thing on, and you burnish it and you seal it off. These are small pieces, so they're kind of meditative. And you just sit there at a desk. It's not like painting on an easel. It's much quieter.
I like the quietness of your work. I like the meditative space of your work.
Thank you.
And sometimes I've looked at your work and it's made me see nature. You see your work kind of reminds you, hey, look around. I mean, this stuff's out there. It has a magic to it. I've always appreciated it.
It does have a magic to it. These are olive branches. And
Oh, well, that's a political meeting too, and all of.
Well, we could go in that direction.
Yeah.
I bet you don't want to, but.
Oh,
this one I brought this one especially for you.
Wow. Is that your underwear?
Some of it's my underwear.
Wow.
This was a project I started on a couple of years ago. In a nutshell, this Italian architect had this big retrospective in Salt Lake City. And I went to go see him because he'd been a professor of one of my kids. So we went off to go see him. And outside of the museum was all this laundry strung from the building across a lawn to like lampposts and street signs and all that. And it's hanging outside. And I'm looking at this. I'm taking pictures going, what the hell is this? So the guy comes up to me. He has a little cigar. He always has a cigar. He says, so what do you think of the laundry? I said, it's great. They look like Tibetan prayer flags to me. And he says, yes, well, and he told me about this was a recreation of a thing he'd done in some large city in Italy. And, but they had to get a permit for the city because it was being hung outside. So the museum had to get a permit. And you go,
wow.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. And he goes, and we're in Salt Lake City. And I'm going, okay. And they're Mormons. I'm going, okay.
Oh, it's the magic.
No underwear.
Oh.
So it was all T-shirts and pants and dresses. There was
but
no
you can't
underwear.
Have the magic underwear.
Well,
on.
so I literally said to him, Johnny, if I had a really good tawdry bra in my suitcase, I'd donate it right now. So we thought this was very funny. Long story short, I ended up sending the museum 7 bras. And then I didn't hear from anybody. I already discussed this with them. I had discussed this idea with them. And then,
somebody intercepted the package and decided to put it on.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I waited for weeks and weeks. And finally one day I get this email with about 16 to 20 images that this woman I was talking to had taken. They didn't only put up my 7 bras, they'd put up all sorts of underwear. Nothing nasty, but they just augmented the laundry. It was only going to be up for 2 weeks, so I had to, anyway. So I started painting the laundry.
Well, many guests get on here and they're a little protective, but Jill Sykes bared her underwear to us.
Well, one of them's mine.
Let's see, while we were talking, what the Skechers seat has produced.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Woo-hoo. Wow, wow, wow. And your chair looks like angel wings. Jill Sykes, thank you very much for being on Modern Art Blitz. We'll be back with Sandra Vista after this.
Yay.
To Hollywood.